You are calling Mr. Muhammad. Hello?
Hello,
Yes, Mr. Muhammad. How are you?
how are you, CP?
I'm fine, my friend. You are live on air. What do you like to say to us?
I don't want to take so much of your time. I'm an ex-Muslim. I'm just here to tell you that I'm a big fan of you. I wish I heard you or knew about you long time ago because, like, I spent like 8 years to get out of this cancer called Islam. I wish I knew the stuff I know now after listening to you because, like, back then I was spending my time trying to understand like the philosophical arguments. Little did I know that there's so many stupid things in the religion.
So did I help you to leave Islam, or you decide to leave? I mean, you left Islam before you know my videos or watching my videos.
Yeah, that's my biggest regret. I left Islam before I know you
Oh,
because
okay.
had I know you, I think my life would have been much easier.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. I mean, at least you you are out of it, and you are So did you like choose to be like Christian, or you're an atheist? What happened now?
I am an atheist.
Why you're an atheist? Tell me.
Well, I think CP, like, no disrespect, I really have a lot of respect for you and like for what you do. But like, I think, uh, like, once you start asking these big questions and you try to understand the word, I think you come to the conclusion that there's no way to prove that there's supernatural.
Hmm.
And when you go like, if you accept the supernatural, then all the, let's say, arguments that you will put to Christianity will work as well with something else that is not as stupid as Islam. Like, let's say, Hinduism or
Hmm.
Buddhism. I think once you accept the supernatural, there's no escape, basically.
Hmm. So you don't approve such a thing is called superpower.
Supernatural, yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah.
And like, to be honest, like, I'm sure you are familiar with the God of the Gaps argument.
What is
I'm
what is
sure,
that?
like,
What is that? Say again.
God of the Gaps.
No, I don't know this argument. Tell me about it if you don't mind.
So, like, God of the Gaps, it means whenever there's a gap in the human knowledge,
Hmm.
we um, we say it's God. So, for example,
Yeah, I get you. I do
think,
not need to explain to me. But look what happened now.
yeah,
You just denied that you're an atheist because now you have a God, because all of atheism is full of gaps. You do not know, all what you have, like Big Bang is a theory. Everything is a theory. So if the God is the God appear only when we have gaps, well, the most people who have gaps is the atheist. Because those who believe, they get answer from a book. You have nothing. You have theories, and it's full of gaps. So based on what you said, you are a believer in a fiction too. Because there's no thing in atheism to prove anything they claim. As an example, if I say to you now, like, okay, gap, gap mean is something I cannot explain, or something they say there's supernatural. If I say to you, let us say 400 years ago, that there is a sound can go through the wind, like it's waves, we cannot hear it. You will laugh at me, correct?
yeah,
Okay. If I say to you, I will go more. I will say, okay, there is a little thing you put in your pocket, and you can use it, and you will speak to someone. You live in America, you can call somebody who live in China. You will say, literally, I'm crazy, correct?
correct. I
Okay.
think also if you told me there are germs 300 years ago,
Okay.
I would
But
laugh at you too.
yeah, but let us focus on this. Uh, just because we are ignorant about something, we deny it, and we think the person who is saying those things is crazy, and that means the one who is smart is the crazy one, and the one who is stupid is a smart one, because what he is saying is impossible, for the normal average person, and there is no way this can be true. So just because we are ignorant about what is real and what is not real, we we assume that the one who is telling us something, it is stupid, he is crazy, he is mentally ill, he is suffering from a problem, just because we do not know. And later, after maybe a century or 2 or 3, we find that this guy was saying the truth. So this is what atheists they do too. They assume a theory. If the theory is a success, they claim to be smart. If the theory is a failure, it's a failure for the one who made it. You know what I mean? Not the one who followed it. But the fact, no, the one who followed it too, he wasn't smart too. Because why you follow somebody who have no proof of anything he claimed? When an atheist, he said to a Christian, can you prove to me that there's God? And I said to him, okay, are you saying there's no God? He said, there's no God. I say, can you prove it? He said, I can prove it. How you can prove that how you can prove that God does not exist if he doesn't exist? That's silly even. You know what I'm saying? It's like if I give you a box, and then I say to you, okay, prove to me that this empty box is empty. It's already empty. How you can prove it? I mean, what you are looking for? So, by denying the God, which you cannot prove that he does not exist, you are accepting another theory of your own God, of scientists saying this and that, and scientists sometimes they say something right, and sometimes they say something wrong. But all what the scientists they do, they discover and they learn about what we have already. They could not even make anything like it. Like when they say to you, we are going to clone a goat. In fact, they are not really creating anything. They are just choosing what is exist. We have the DNA, we have the egg, we have a sperm, we have blah, 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 you know, and you know, or we use the DNA and we grow whatever we want. So we are not really creating. Everything we have, we are using what we have. We are not the creator of anything. We don't create electricity, we generate it, which means we are able to collect it. But in fact, electricity exists in the wall, exists in the wood, exists in your body, exists in your eyes, exists in your hair. It's all over. But we discover it, and now we use it. And now we were able to make this electricity provide us with light. But the light is always there, because thunder is nothing but electricity. So what was in front of us for thousands of years, it turned to be nothing but electricity, and we can have thunder the same as that one, but it's a little smaller. I mean, it's small, it's not powerful as that one. So you are smart or not, that is based on what you believe. So when an atheist, he said to me, I don't want to believe and I am smarter than that, I say, I'm not insulting you, but I'm telling you my opinion. I find that the most silly thing is to be an atheist. Because an atheist, he explained to himself everything by nothing. How this earth came to exist, how the universe, Big Bang. How you know that? How this
well,
come to existence?
Here's CP, like you came across many points. Here's what, like, if I want to like answer to the main points, I would say the following. So, like, as you said, scientists, they don't come up with anything. They just discover the rules, so to speak, right? Now, when it comes to the gods or anything else, I think it all boils down to providing an evidence for something, because otherwise I can make any claim I want, right? Like, I can say, like, every day you tackle the claims in Islam, and they are funny and they make no sense, right? So, like, if there's no evidence for anything,
No,
I
for
can
me,
make any
for me
claim
there
I
is.
want.
For me there is. You see, I am a person who witnessed miracles happening to people in the name of Jesus, and nobody can explain them. Nobody
But
can explain.
don't you think CB, and like some of my Hindu friends here in Canada,
Yeah.
they were trying to tell me the same thing. They wanted me to convert to Hinduism, and they were telling me they had miracles happen to them because they are religious people.
Okay, you see,
So they,
if this is true,
so
if this is true,
yeah.
I advise you, myself, I will convert if this is true. Because, you know, when somebody claims something, it's very easy to expose him to be a liar or to be truthful. So I can say there's a miracle, and then I say, you say to me, well, can I witness one? If I cannot make you witness one, especially I am a person who is the miracle, let's say, happening to me, and then I say, oh, this miracle happened only when you are not here, you know? Obviously, there's a lie there, you know? So the Hindus, actually, they don't even believe in God. They believe in gods, and it's not a religion. It's just a philosophy. So when they claim about miracle, this is funny, because since when? You know, Hindus, they focus in, you know, being vegetarian and philosophy of the soul and the spirit and the mind and the control. You know, it's a philosophy. It's not really a religion. When we
So
speak about,
I'm not interrupting you, but like to give you an
okay, go
example,
ahead.
he
Sorry
told
for
me.
interrupting. Go ahead.
No, no, sorry. So he was telling me that like his application to come to Canada was like no way that would he would get accepted because he has low points,
Hmm.
and like he goes to one of like the priests or like whatever you call them there, like the religious Hindu preachers, and they tell him to pray or whatever it is, and he does. And then the next week, he gets a call from the embassy, and they
Yeah, but
tell
you know,
him like,
those are silly things, because it might. Okay, let's see. It's possible. It's
I
possible.
agree with you,
Yeah.
CP. I personally have like no objection to what you say because like for me, I know it's like has nothing to do with it, right? But like, if I may ask you, like, what kind of miracles like you're talking about when you say you
Oh no,
witness miracles?
I know a person. Her family, they took her to every single hospital. They spent almost all their fortune on her. You know, their daughter.
Hmm.
They took her everywhere, and they told her, that, you know, are wasting your money. Just take her, go, you know, take her back to the Middle East. You know, they took her to Europe, they took her to Russia, they took her to America. The girl, she is dying, and doctors are sucking their blood with the money. They told them, just let her die home. I mean, that's it. There's nothing we can do. So what happened? Her family, they decide, if our daughter, she will die, you know, she is very religious person, very good girl. Uh, they said, if she die, we want her to die in the church. So they asked the priest if they can allow her to have like a, you know, a bed in the floor in the church and sleep, because it might be her last night, or maybe 2 days from now. We don't know, but she's dying. So they, you know, they put her there, and at, you know, like, her mother, she woke up, I don't know what time, and the daughter is not in the bed, but the daughter cannot move. She can't even go to the bathroom. She cannot even talk, you know. She looked at her daughter, and
Yeah.
she found her in the front, look, in the place where they pray. She's bowing down and she's praying. Her mother, she thought she is dreaming. She thought maybe her daughter is dead and this is her ghost, the spirit. You know, she is a believer too, because there's no way the daughter, she, you know, so she said, this is, you know, I mean, she could not believe what's happening. She touched the bed next to her. There's nobody, but she see her daughter there. She is praying. To make it short, everybody came, the family came, the father came, you know, they called everybody, and they took her to the doctors, and they checked her body, and the girl, she is recovering so fast. She did not recover immediately, you know, but she have no cancer. Her body is really demolished after all the, you know, the chemotherapy. They gave her the medicine. She lost her hair. You know, she didn't have even high eyelashes. She don't have hair and high eyebrows. She, you know, she lost all the hair she had. And then suddenly this girl, she come and she live, and she now she have many kids. So nobody can explain that. No doctors. The doctors, they say, we do not know what happened, how this happened. This is impossible. So even doctors today, when things happen like this, they say this is a miracle. And I'm sure you heard many doctors, they say it was a miracle that this person, he survived. So yes, I believe in miracles. Now, many people, they can claim to be to have God who make miracles. But I assure you, even the Muslims, when they get sick in the Middle East, most of the donation in the churches in the Middle East is coming from Muslims. I know a church in the Middle East, all the candles of the church, I'm talking about the time I was there, for the last maybe 15, 17 years, the one who supplied the candles as a donation is a Muslim, because a miracle happened to him. So, the Bible says, if you believe, believing is a power. Believing is a power. And sometimes, even if you believe in something wrong, something false, still believe is a power. This is why you see somebody have a belief, like even doctors, they say, if somebody have faith, he can fight diseases and illness way better than someone he is an atheist because he have no faith. Spiritual power is very important for a human being to heal himself. A person who want to die, you cannot make him live. There's people, they get sick, but he don't like to live. He will die. So,
CP, with all respect, do you think that, like, if you ask in the Middle East, some people they wouldn't tell you something similar happened to them in a mosque about that girl?
well, for me, I did not really hear too many stories like this. I'm mentioning to you a story which I never
Yeah.
saw something like it. Otherwise, I know people who they are believers too, and they die from cancer.
So
I mean, people die from cancer left and right. Actually, from every 5 people, cancer is the biggest killer in the world. Which means, between us now, maybe God knows, God forbid that you have cancer or me, but you never know. Every 5 people, especially in some countries, they have one person, he will have cancer. So, those things, this is why we call it miracle. Otherwise, if a miracle happen every day, it's normal. It's not a miracle. Right?
true.
Yeah. So,
I heard, like, I also heard, like, so, like, just a small point about excuse me, when you said about the doctors, if you ask them, they will tell you a miracle and they don't know. It's a true, they don't know what happened, and two, it's something miraculous, like something about something that goes perhaps against their books happened, right?
right.
But do you think that's supernatural, or maybe it's an exception to the rule?
You see, it can be, because they are ignorant. They could not explain it because
Yeah,
they are ignorant.
we
It's
we
not,
don't we don't know everything,
yeah,
right?
it's possible. But there is things, it's way beyond ignorance. Because if a person, he cannot see, and then suddenly he see, there's nothing can explain it, because this is, he have a nerve damage, he have the structure of the eye damage, etc. So then he see,
True.
that's impossible. Somebody, he cannot walk, he's born this way all his life, and then he is able to walk. There's no doctor can explain that. So we have a story in the Bible where Jesus said to the blind man, he put some mud on his eyes, and the person he see. I mean, is the mud is a medicine? No. Did he swallow it? No. So mud on the eyes, the guy he see. Either you take it, you believe it, or you say this is not true. But I remember once there's an atheist. He come to the church, traditional church, and he is always, those are nice people, Christians. They are not rude. So this guy, he come always. He's an atheist. He make fun of them. So the priest, he said to me, are you busy next week? I said, why? He said, there's a guy, he come always. I don't know what to say to him, but I know you can do something about it. But he said to me, please be nice. I mean, don't, just easy. So I went there, and I was waiting for him to talk. I told him which one, he was there. So I said, waiting for him to talk. And then the guy, he opened his mouth. He said, it's very funny that you Christians, you say things, it's nobody can even believe. I mean, Jesus, he put mud on the eyes of a person, he's blind, and then he saw. So I said to him, what do you do for a living? He said, I am an eye doctor. This is why he's choosing this topic. I said, don't you put sand in front of the eyes of people today to make them see better? He said, what? I said, don't you put sand on the front of the eyes of people to make them see better? Actually, on the eyes, not only in the front, because, you know, there's like the one you stick inside your eye. He said, but this is different. I said, okay, so if I say 1,000 years ago that time will come and there's a person, he will take sand and he will make it somewhat mud or whatever, he put it in your eye and you will see way better. You will laugh at me, correct? You will say this guy is crazy. I said, yeah. I said, but this is because they are ignorant and you are practicing this. So because you could not understand how Jesus can do it, you are laughing at it. And this is exactly what will happen 1,000 years ago. Because they cannot understand how he can do it, they laugh at it. When you make sunglasses, when you make eyeglasses, when you make whatever they call them, the things you put inside your eye, you are putting sand. It's just
lenses.
Yeah, it's not eye lenses, exactly. So they are nothing but sand. As simple as that. The glass is sand. It's not something, you know, I mean, it's a sand, literally sand. So how you accept now this? Because now we practice it, we saw it, we believe in it because we saw it. Otherwise, we will not believe it. So because you could not understand how Jesus can make somebody see, you laugh at it. Because how he can do that? It is impossible. This is impossible based on our ignorance.
You know, Sippy reminded me of in the chapter of Yusuf. Remember when what's his name in English? Jacob. Jacob goes blind, right? Because he loses his son, and then when Yusuf asked them to throw his t-shirt on his eyes. I remember, and then he comes, so he can't see again, right? So I remember I once I saw a show on Al Jazeera where was a doctor saying that he managed to find a cure for, I think it's what they call it, the white water or the blue water.
Blue water or dark water, yeah. Dark water.
Yeah. And he found it inside the sweat, the human sweat.
Okay.
And he interprets that verse that t-shirt had sweat on it, and that's why Jacob had
come
his
on, you know, I mean,
vision.
sweat. See, a sweat will come to my eyes, and what is that? I mean, okay, let us say this is now. Can you sweat and squeeze? No, I'm not saying, I'm not making fun of you, but I'm saying,
yeah.
Okay, I will sweat now. I will go to the gym, and then let us say I have an old man. He have that. Usually, it happens to old people, right? I will sweat like crazy. Then I will squeeze my t-shirt and I put the sweat on his eyes, and that's it. He do not need a surgery. That's just silly.
It's gonna burn your eyes.
Yeah, come on. This is not true, you know, because it doesn't go that easy. You know, it needs a surgery.
Don't you think it's like the same thing could have been said to Jesus when he put his hand into someone's eye?
No, because simply he did not use medicine. He did not say to him, go and take this every day 3 times, and maybe after some time he will be fine. He said to the guy, see. He said to him, what do you want? He said, see, I want to see. He said, okay, see. The guy who cannot walk, he said, what do you want? He said, I want to walk. He said, okay, walk. Carry your bed and walk. There's no medicine. He did not give him medicine to drink or to eat or etc. So, you know, miracle, I believe, is true. And at the end of the day, you are what you believe. So if you decide to follow atheism, which is nothing but, you know, I believe it's a chain of a confusion, will lead you into nothing except confusion. You know, you're in a vacuum space. It's empty space. And all the discovery they found until now, I mean, we are learning about the universe, and at the end we learn nothing.
Yeah, we have a long way ahead of us.
No, we learn nothing. Trust me, we learn nothing. We have a little virus is destroying I mean, they are terrified. Everybody making poop on his pants. It's just a little virus, you know. So where is our medicine? Where is our technology? Where is our computers? It's a joke, you know. And now they make a vaccine, and then they say, okay, you have to take another one, and then they will have to take another one, and then you find that, you know, it's endless. So there's no really science. You know, science today, as I understand it, is a knowledge of a practice. So we practice something. We bring a rat. We put some chemical in it, and we see what will happen to the rat. And then if it works with the rat, we try it with the human. It works with the human, we practice with everybody. It is a science of a practice, not a science of science. Which means we are not really creating, we are just learning. And
we like CP. I think like in scientists' defense, I think anyone said they created anything. They just uncovered the rules, right? So I agree with you. Like, we don't know how it all came to be. I think the point is, it goes down like this. Like, if it's 300 years ago, 350 years ago, went back and looked how the doctors in the Victorian age were trying to understand how infection happened, right? Back then, we didn't know anything about infection. We didn't know there were germs. We didn't have microscopes. So it was all guesswork, basically. And there were plagues there. And they know, for example, that if you go to this place, if you go, there was no sewage also, right? So they associated the bad smell with the disease, and they thought that whenever there is bad smell, well, here there are diseases. And if you look in the old drawings, you would find the plague doctors have masks that has long beaks. And in those beaks, at the end of them, they put flour inside them, because for them, that's a way to counter the bad smell when they go to that area, so they don't get infected. Point is, CP, and at that time, as you said at the beginning of this call, if someone told them there is a disease, disease happens because there are small living beings, they are too small, we can't see them, and there are germs, no one would have believed it. But that's the truth. And they didn't know back then. And for them, they imagined and they came up with the idea of smell. And when I think about the topic of God, like when you think about where we came from, this magnificent universe with all these impressive details, and as you said, and I say, I think every scientist also say, I can't speak and everyone's behave, but I think no one says we created this, but no one also knows where it came from. And I think for a lot of people, the idea of God comes down to the same thing. We don't know where it came from, so it's a guesswork. We say, okay, we know nothing comes from nothing,
yeah,
so it must be something that created this.
No, this has become a philosophy. It's not really a reality, because as long as you're a person who believes in reason, that's mean everything have a reason. So there's no way there's no way that this universe exists for no reason, and from nothing,
And CB, just to clarify, I don't believe anyone says it came from nothing. They just say we don't know where it came from.
No. They say that the Big Bang. They say that everything created by the Big Bang, which is a big explosion. But in order to have explosion, you have to have something to explode.
Yeah, I think no one disagrees with that.
Yeah,
too.
And then in order to have something to explode, where this thing is coming from, whatever it is. I mean, let us go. There's something behind the thing, behind, and then at the end, okay, where the chain will end. So there is somebody.
I think that's where the crux of the argument. I think what we know now is like there's a big bang. We can look at the stars. We can see that they are expanding. If we draw a line between where's the current position of this star and the previous position for that star like a year ago, and we'll find a line between them. And if we do it to all the stars, we find them all come down to a point. And that's why we, like scientists, have the proposal of the Big Bang.
You see, all of
But I
those
agree
things,
with you.
all of those things
I
actually,
agree.
The
Just
Bible
let me
speak.
finish.
Hold on,
Just
the
let me
Bible, the
finish
Old
on
Testament.
this,
No,
CP.
because this is endless. This is endless, my friend. There's people want to quote, but
Yeah,
let me tell you something. The Bible speak
yeah.
about the Earth is hanging on nothing, thousands of years before even they discover that we have a space and we are hanging on nothing. The Bible speak about the universe is expanding. The Bible is about many things. But we Christians, we never talk about the Bible as a book of science because it's not, you know, because you know. Well, people, when they want, they say this is metaphorical. When they want, they say this is scientist. We don't want to do that, you know. Book of God, not to meant to be about science, but we find that a lot of evidence in the Bible confirming what the scientists today trying to find out. Took them a lot of time when it's in the front of them. The globe of the earth, hang on nothing. The curtain of the universe, expanding the curtain. So it is simple words written thousands of years ago, and scientists until now, or now maybe, they are coming to a conclusion that those words are true. However, you know, still this is not the reason to believe in a book, because I might say something, it come to be true later. You know, I might say something crazy, and it come to be true. So this is not reason for me to believe in it, and this is the proof of it. Because first of all, I don't believe really in something called science. I believe in something called discovery. And discovering something is not really science. It is just learning today about it. Tomorrow, somebody else will give me more information. It might even prove that what I learned today is wrong. So science is a process of changing, even either multiplying by experience or by declining by proving it wrong. So science is not really real. Science is a kind of, let us try and see. And if it work, it work. And if the time change, and what was working yesterday is not working today, then our science is not valid. So we have a vaccine for a virus, and then this virus became smarter. Then the vaccine is not working for the new virus, which is the same virus. He just changed himself just to fight what we try to fight him with. And then what we say, can we say that our science is not valid? Yes, it's not valid. This medicine is expired. This medicine cannot work. So now we have to find a new medicine which can fight the virus, which was a virus exist thousands of years ago, and he is just smarter than us. So we are trying to learn about how to fight a simple thing, and we are most of the time we fail big time, which means we don't have really a rule of science. We are just practicing, and the purpose of the practice is money, is not even science. So I want to say thank you, my friend.
Well, the unfortunate part, TV, about this is like, as you said, that the people who like have the biggest pockets are the ones who can sometimes run the show, and like eventually scientists or researchers they are means to an end. So like if they want them to work on something, they will make them work on it.
No,
I just
science
want
science today is a business. As an example, the first job I did in my life when I was a student, I mean, like as a let us say sitting behind a table, it was correcting Arabic newspaper before they publish it in the morning. The old days, like they print it, they send it to you at home.
yeah,
So I
I
said
did so.
I was a student. I've been getting a job to to read the newspaper to see if there's any mistake in the Arabic grammar, or dots or something is missing. And I was reading an articles about how bad the coffee. Every day there's an article about written by somebody about how bad, and the names we do not know where the article is coming from. This Japanese guy, scientist, his name is etc. from Switzerland, etc. And then after that, 3 months after, I start correcting articles about how good is the coffee. So I went crazy. I mean, what happened? So for the last 3 months, we are writing how bad it is, and now how good it is. At that time, it was how bad the coffee, how good the tea, and now how bad the tea and how good the coffee. So I asked the one in charge. He said the publisher. You want to go ask the publisher? I don't know. So I went, and they said there's companies, they pay us, coffee companies, against the articles which is making the coffee, it cause you nerve damage, cause you whatever. So all the article which is supposedly scientific, and people, they read them believing it's true, it is nothing but a fabrication. It's a commercial article to make you believe, buy this, don't buy that. As simple as
You
that.
remind me, CP, of the scientists who say smoking is good, or the ones who say global warming is not correct. So there are
It's
so many
commercial.
of these people.
It is commercial.
So CP, I just want, if you don't mind, I know you have many other callers. I just want to finish on something. I need just only 1 minute.
Okay.
When you said, I want to hear what you think about this. When you say okay, something came before this, something came before the Big Bang. Even if we assume the Big Bang is correct, what did where the bang came? What did explode? Right, something before it happened. And I think eventually, no matter how back you go, you will have to come to an origin, as they say, the unoriginated originator or something among these.
Correct.
I think that's how you think about it.
That is God.
And I think the people who on the other side, the atheists or agnostics or whatever, they say, well, when we didn't know what caused the sickness back then, we assumed it's a smell, but we can't know till we have evidence. Then we're gonna hold judgment. We can't say it's God, because we're gonna hold judgment till we know exactly what it is. That's for this point, CP. I really like your content. I want I know how much time you have. I know you need to move on, but I want to ask you. Today I was talking to my brother, and he's still a Muslim, and every time I tell him, okay, listen, there are stupid hadith that in Sahih Bukhari, and when you come to them and I tell you about them, you're gonna tell me, well, this is not correct. So I was asking him about he told me there are 5 rules.
There's 5 what? 5 rules. Oh, okay.
Yeah, 5 rules to make sure the hadith is correct, which is, I really don't like it. We just today had the conversation. So on top of my head, I think he said, justice. It has to be a chain of narration. So it can't be me here and me in Canada, for example, and CP, let's say in the Middle East, and we can't see each other. So we have to have met. And he also said justice, which is mean it's a very subjective thing. But back then, they believe the person who eat in the street is not just, because people will be poor and they can't, they see him eating something they can't afford. So what also he said multiple
but
things.
let us make it simple. You see, okay, we can go and check what is supposedly only authentic, and we will die laughing. So what he will do now, because as long there is
that's
rules.
the thing, CP. That's what I want. I know you have more experience than me in that, because I'm frustrated every time I want to mention a hadith for him. He comes and CCP. The thing is, I know a lot of people may look at your work and they say, why this man does this. Okay, so I'm gonna just tell the audience who are listening now why what you do is important. So my brother, for example, he is married to a religious woman as well. Both of them are religious. My brother is one of these people who memorize the Quran, and all his friends. So here, people who are listening, please focus on this. All his friends are Muslims, though we live in Canada, right? And he doesn't have any Christian friend or Hindu friend or whatever. So that's one point. Second point, all his community, all that goes in the first point too. They are Muslims too. So third point is his kids now, they go to school, they go to Islamic school. And that part really hurts me because I don't want them to think that Muslims are better than other people. So I really like the conversation with the UCP, and like I know you have many people who are calling and challenging and stuff like this. I want to come down to a point where like I can tell my brother, okay, answer to this one, two, three, and he can't answer because I want him out of this bubble he's living in.
Well, you know,
So
if you want, or you
yeah.
can ask your brother to join you in a conversation with me, and I will speak to him very nice. You know?
Well, CP, the problem is, there are a lot of people who poison the well, and they say this person is not educated.
No problem.
I'm gonna
Okay,
try.
listen.
Yeah,
If he says not educated, he said, okay, so you will then you will laugh at him. You know, we will laugh at him if he is not educated. No problem. Let us laugh at him because you're not educated. People will laugh at him anyway. You know. So let us laugh at the
yeah.
Christian Prince. Call him. Let us call him and see. So we will, and then we will find out who is educated, who is not. So you know, because this is the best way to understand. You know, like in order to see what is a disease, you have to bring the patient to the doctor because every individual is different. By the way, every human being is
Yep,
different, and
yep.
we are different in everything, including how we think. Like you know, even a person who is a Muslim, you know, you ask him a question, the same question about Islam, he will give you different answer from other Muslim because he think differently, unless he is reading something copy paste. So why you are a Muslim? Okay, when Muhammad he said in the Quran that there is a king, his name is Solomon, and this guy he died, and nobody noticed that he is dead. And according to the stories, he was dead for a year, and nobody noticed that he is dead until the worms ate his stick. How in the world that can be explained? I mean, how stupid it
He,
is.
he will tell you. He will tell you it's a miracle. I listened to your
No,
previous
because this is not a
episode.
miracle. You see, this is not a miracle because I can say, okay, God can make you stand for a year, no problem, but nobody notice. So if God don't want you to notice, He do not need to make him dead anyway. You know what I mean?
Well, he wanted the jinn, like the angels or whatever for the people who are listening who don't know what jinn is. It's like uh, ghosts basically
No, the
who
jinn they are not.
is
Jinn are they have physical body. They just can't go through things, but they are physically exist, and even they can have sex with Muslim women or Muslim men. So jinn are not
but
really a spirit.
aren't they invisible?
Yeah, this is the only explanation why we cannot see them, just to cover the stupid lie, you know. I mean, why we cannot see them? Because simply they are invisible. But at the same time, they have a penis and they have a vagina and they can have sex with Muslims. So how they are invisible, but in the same time they have a physical body? At the same time, they eat bones and they eat meat and all the garbage. So
I,
uh, uh,
I thought that they can embody people, but whatever.
no, even
Uh,
Muhammad he said, well, if you don't say a prayer before you have sex with your wife, Shaitan he will round himself around the man private part, and he will be doing the wife with the husband, and then the children will be the children of the Shaitan. So tons of a stupid story
and
does not make sense.
this thing is just like obnoxious.
Yeah.
Like
So
I wish I know these hadith when I was in my circle. But
yeah.
back to the point, I think he would say that God wanted the genie to think he's alive or something along these lines, so they'd finish building the mosque.
If you believe in something stupid, you know, you can believe in it. Why not? I mean, if you decide to believe in it, but doesn't make you smart and doesn't make it true. As
I
simple as that.
understand,
You know.
but I think you know better than me that like child indoctrination. Like when you said that atheists come to the church and make fun of people, I would never do something like this because I think everyone is smart. Like there are smart Christians, there are smart Muslims, there are, but unfortunately, like everyone could believe stuff like this when they are young. They get like indoctrinated by it, right? So the other day I was talking to him. I told him like, how come that think it's Jonah Yunus.
Mm.
I think it's Jonah in English.
Yeah.
He got eaten by the whale, and like he lived there for
Mm.
3 days.
Mm.
And he told me, well, in the Quran doesn't say he ate him. He said he caught him with his mouth.
Ah, okay.
The word in Arabic it's iltaqamahu.
Mm.
So I told him and I really I wasn't trying to make fun of him, but like
Mm.
I burst into laughter
Mm.
because I told him what was he doing in his mouth 3 days? Like there like a 3 rooms and a bed and the bathroom like
Mm.
inside, you know, like he had his bed and like sleeping inside. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Mm.
But like when you are a Muslim, you are raised to believe that God is the ultimate truth, and like these comes down as technicalities, and like you wouldn't really, unfortunately, I know, like from the outside, it's obvious that it's obnoxious,
Yeah, but you see,
but like
it's not the story. Like this story exists in the Bible, and speaking
yeah,
about the like Jonah, or like which sound like he was dead inside the whale, and God resurrected him because he said, "You resurrected me. You brought me back to life." So, in Islamic stories, Muhammad always he copies stories from other books. Sometimes it's from the Gospel, sometimes it's from the Torah, and sometimes from books of tradition, which is can be stupid, like the story of the ant and Solomon. But anyway, we spoke before about miracle. He can say to you it's a miracle, and I can say it's a miracle. I believe that God can resurrect people from death. All of this can be proven and cannot, let us say, cannot be proved. I mean, if I was there, maybe I can say, okay, I will prove it to you, but I wasn't there. However, God cannot be stupid. We have to agree on that. So when we have a God, he is stupid. That God cannot be God, and this is always fit with the God of Islam. He is so
well,
stupid.
see, I think it's obnoxious.
A human can be
I
stupid,
think
but God cannot be stupid. God and stupid doesn't make sense. It's a stupid idea to believe in God is stupid. So when we prove that Allah is stupid, then we just prove that Islam is a fraud. So I do not need really to go and discuss something no one can prove or disapprove. Like, okay, Allah, he created the earth first. Okay, science says no, the earth is not first. No problem. But this is a scientist is making a study, and it's, for me, it's at the end of the day is a theory. So okay, maybe Allah is right, maybe the scientist is wrong. However, still the God who says stupid things, as an example, who do not remember which one he created first, he cannot be God. So when, like in chapter 41 and chapter 79 and chapter 2, one chapter says that Allah created the stars before the earth, and the other one says Allah created the mountains before the stars. How God, he don't remember how and what he created first? That is a stupid God. Here it's so clear. You do not need to be genius. You do not need to be scientist. We do not need to do chemical laboratory testing. You know what I mean?
yeah, I was today I was listening to someone who was talking about Surah Al-Kahf,
Yeah.
Al-Kahf chapter, which means Al-Cave. There is something funny about this chapter when he talks about, and if I can understand correctly, it's something that was copied from, I think it's a Christian story. But what happened is he says, well, the Quran says, they say there are three people,
Yeah.
and for those who are unaware, the story talks about people who were
Mm.
persecuted because of their religion, and they went to the cave and slept there for 300 years, and then they woke up. So the Quran says they say, speaking about these people of the cave, that there are three people, and some say four, and some people say five or seven. So it's the Quran say it might be three or five or seven, and God knows how many there are.
So what is the
So
answer? This is
this
stupid. Secondly, this
exactly.
is a
So
fiction story, my friend.
this is
This is
how
a,
stupid it
yeah,
is,
this is a
right?
fiction story written by a person. His name is Yaqub. He is from Syria. He is a Christian, and he wrote a story for the youth who at that time they were discriminated. So he's saying to them in the story, it's a fiction story, it's not a real story, that time will come and we will be victorious, and you will go out and everybody believe in Jesus. So here it's just a fiction story. Let's chip it Muhammad, he took it, he put it in the Quran. As simple as
But the
that.
funny part is,
And
like,
then
the Quran itself doesn't know if they were 3 or 5 or
yeah,
7.
because okay, what the point of
And
saying
then
3? Some they say 3, and they are and their dog is number 4. First, this is stupid in Arabic because you don't count the dog as number 4. Even in English, you cannot do that because you can say like there are 3 brothers and their father is number 4, but you cannot count a dog
Yeah.
as number 4. You have to count something from the same kind, right? Like you cannot say 3
Exactly, yeah.
apples, 3 apples, and the 4th is a donkey. I mean, donkeys are not apples, you know, to
True,
count it as
true.
4. So it have to be from the same kind. This is a mistake in the language. Secondly, what is the point of this verse anyway? Some they say they are 3 and their dog is 4. Some they say they are 5 and their dog is number 6. Some they say they are 7 and their dog is number 8. Okay, and say Allah knows best. But the question was, they ask him how many they are. If you go,
And isn't God who's the one who wrote the verse? So
yeah, yeah.
what's the
So
point
they ask
of
Muhammad,
saying they are
they
3
ask
or
Muhammad,
5 or
yeah,
8?
they ask him how many they are, because Muhammad did not know. So he have to come with the answer, says Allah knows best. And not only that, he says Allah know their number, and on the few, there's a few only do their number. Okay, give us the number. As long as there's a few, are you one of them? So my friend, thank you for calling. There's some Muslims.
Thank you so much, CP.
Yeah.
I wish you the best. Actually, I would love to call again sometime in the future. I would love to clarify some things about science, like have a discussion like this.
I want you to invite
maybe
your brother.
In the future.
I want you to invite your brother, and
yeah,
he's welcome.
Yeah. We want to make that happen first.
All right. Take care, my friend. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, CP. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.